Oh my goodness, folks, I'm absolutely stunned by the bombshell news that has just rocked the British monarchy to its very foundations. This is without question the most dramatic development in the ongoing Sussex saga, one that changes everything about Harry's future and the royal landscape forever. Now, I know you guys are excited for more, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on, guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, King Charles III has officially ratified Parliament's historic resolution to strip Prince Harry of all his royal titles. This unprecedented move effectively severs Harry's formal connection to the institution that has defined his entire life since birth. The Duke of Sussex is gone, literally erased by his own father's signature. But that's just the beginning of this absolute catastrophe for Harry. Simultaneously, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs has hit him with an urgent demand for nearly $800,000 in overdue taxes, money that must be paid within a shocking 72-hour deadline. Talk about a royal double whammy that leaves Harry cornered like never before. But let me be crystal clear about what we're witnessing. This is the complete collapse of Harry's carefully constructed post-royal identity. Everything he's built since leaving the firm is now crumbling before our very eyes at breathtaking speed. Think about it. Every Netflix deal, every publishing contract, every speaking engagement has been built on one crucial foundation: his royal status. The title Duke of Sussex wasn't just a fancy name, it was the cornerstone of his entire brand power. Without it, what exactly is Harry selling? Just another celebrity in a town full of bigger, more relevant stars. The timing couldn't possibly be worse. Hollywood producers, who once saw Harry as a valuable asset who could add that special royal sparkle to their projects, are now questioning his worth. Publishers who paid millions for his royal revelations are watching this uniqueness evaporate. Speaking engagements that commanded six-figure fees are likely to dry up as the allure of hosting royalty disappears. What's particularly devastating is the overwhelming public support for this decision in the UK. Recent polls show the British people, once deeply sympathetic to Harry's struggles, now overwhelmingly back the stripping of his titles. The transformation of public sentiment has been seismic and seemingly irreversible. Why? Because the British public feels betrayed. They initially supported Harry's desire to forge his own path and find happiness outside the constraints of royal life. But instead of witnessing a prince dedicated to genuine service and building something meaningful, they've watched him ruthlessly exploit his royal connections for massive profit, while simultaneously trashing the institution that gave him his platform. Parliament's decision reflects this widespread frustration, with numerous lawmakers openly condemning Harry's behavior as nothing short of hypocritical. They've accused him of the ultimate double standard, profiting from an institution he publicly claims to disdain. As one MP bluntly put it, you can't have your royal cake and eat it too. The HMRC tax bill adds another devastating layer to this unfolding disaster. It exposes the fragility of Harry's financial narrative of complete independence from the monarchy, a story that's been central to his post-royal identity. The stark reality of a prince-turned-celebrity struggling with tax obligations like any ordinary citizen undermines his carefully crafted image as a self-sufficient, globally influential figure. The excuses have run out, the deadline is firm, and the empire he claimed to build on entrepreneurial skills now appears as a fragile house of cards, threatening to collapse at any moment. As if all this weren't damaging enough, Harry's foundation, Archwell, is now facing intensified scrutiny, with his personal credibility severely compromised and his reputation tarnished by accusations of hypocrisy. Auditors may soon conduct a far more rigorous examination of the foundation's financial records. Every donation, partnership, and transaction will be subject to unforgiving scrutiny without the protective seal of royal status that previously deflected unwanted attention. Should any irregularities be uncovered, the consequences would be catastrophic, not just financially but also for his already damaged reputation. Perhaps the most telling aspect of the entire debacle is Meghan Markle's conspicuous silence. As her husband faces this unprecedented crisis, condemnation from the royal family, the British government, international media, and the general public, Meghan has made the calculated choice to not publicly stand by his side. No statements of support, no words of solidarity, no defense against mounting accusations. Her silence speaks volumes about the true nature of their relationship and her priorities. Royal observers and the Hollywood insiders interpret this as deliberate distancing, a strategic effort to insulate her own personal brand from Harry's toxic spiral. Recognizing that his reputation is increasingly radioactive, Meghan appears unwilling to jeopardize her own carefully laid plans in a futile attempt to salvage his sinking ship. The irony in all this is absolutely heartbreaking. Harry's long pursuit of independence, fueled by his desire to break free from royal constraints and live authentically, has led him to a position that's the complete opposite of the freedom he envisioned. Now stripped of titles, burdened by substantial tax obligations, and abandoned by public support, his vision of liberation appears increasingly hollow, built not on genuine self reliance, but on borrowed prestige and inherited privilege that now rapidly is disappearing. King Charles's monumental decision underscores the paramount importance of preserving the crown's integrity, even if it means sacrificing the status and privileges of his own son. This wasn't done lightly. It was the necessary action of a monarch putting duty above family sentiment. History may well remember Harry not as the courageous reformer or visionary trailblazer, but as the prince who squandered extraordinary privilege, betrayed the trust of his nation, and found nothing of lasting value in its place, a cautionary tale of entitlement and the perils of mistaking celebrity for true significance. For the British people who have followed Harry's tumultuous journey with fascination, sympathy, and ultimately profound disappointment, there's a growing sense of justice as the curtain falls. In their eyes, this isn't cruelty, but the inevitable consequences of his own choices and repeated missteps, a reckoning long overdue. The monarchy, though bruised by his turbulent chapter, emerges stronger and more resilient than ever, a testament to its enduring power and unwavering commitment to duty. Parliament, acting as the voice of the people, has ensured this remains the definitive conclusion to the complex saga of a prince who lost his way and ultimately paid the price for his ambition, arrogance, and betrayal. What happens next for Harry is the million-dollar question that has royal watchers worldwide on the edge of their seats. Without his titles, facing a crushing tax bill, and with his wife seemingly distancing herself from his troubles, his options appear increasingly limited. Will he attempt to rebuild his brand as simply Harry Windsor, a challenging prospect in the cutthroat world of celebrity? Will he make a desperate plea to return to the royal fold, hat in hand, seeking forgiveness? Or will he double down on his criticism, becoming even more bitter and isolated? The path forward looks incredibly difficult. His Netflix deal reportedly required royal content that he may no longer be legally permitted to provide. His publishing value was built on royal insights that may now be off limits, and his speaking career was predicted on royal experiences that he's now officially disconnected from. What's particularly fascinating is how this development affects the power dynamics within Harry and Meghan's relationship. With Harry's brand value in freefall and Meghan strategically protecting her own interests, we may be witnessing a fundamental shift in their partnership. The once adored prince who sacrificed everything for love now finds himself in an increasingly vulnerable position. His royal status gone, his finances in question, and his wife seemingly preparing for a future that may not include him as the star attraction of their joint ventures. For the monarchy, this represents a decisive turning point, the final closing of a painful chapter that has dominated headlines for years. King Charles has demonstrated that even his own son isn't above accountability, sending a powerful message about the standards expected from those associated with the crown. William, as heir to the throne, stands vindicated in his long-held position that Harry's behavior warranted consequences. The future king has maintained dignified silence throughout this ordeal, but palace insiders suggest he fully supports his father's decision as necessary for preserving the institution they both serve. The British public, once divided over Harry's treatment, has overwhelmingly united behind the monarchy for this instance. The sentiment that actions have consequences resonates deeply across political and social divides, with many viewing this as the inevitable result of Harry's own choices. As this royal earthquake continues to send aftershocks through the monarchy, celebrity culture, and global media, one thing is abundantly clear. We are witnessing the final act in the transformation of Prince Harry from beloved royal to cautionary tale. The lesson is as old as monarchy itself. No individual, regardless of birth privilege, stands above the institution. Those who forget this fundamental truth eventually learn it the hard way, as Harry is discovering at tremendous personal cost. For a man who once had everything, the adoration of a nation, the platform of the world's most famous family, and the resources to make a genuine difference, the fall has been spectacular and heartbreaking. From the heights of royal privilege to the humbling reality of strict titles and tax demands, It's a trajectory no one could have predicted when he proudly stood in his military uniform just a few years ago. The monarchy will continue, as it has for 1,000 years, adapting and evolving while staying true to its core principles. Harry, meanwhile, faces a future far different from what he envisioned when he walked away, a future without the royal identity that defined him, and with questions about what, if anything, remains when that identity is stripped away. This isn't just another chapter in the Sussex saga, this is the definitive conclusion, written in the formal language of parliamentary resolution and royal decree. The prince who rejected his birthright has now had that decision made permanently by the very institution he abandoned. Ta ta, and bye for now.